What's up everyone, I'm Past Duncan Gaming here, and last time from what was going was that Trent was out in the season and was voted out by his own teammates. That were 3 people voting him off the island from part 9. Which was more likely of him being out of the show by 4 people. And as in for now, in part 10 we are going to be getting onto is about DJ's reasons of why that he was out and gone to from the same team too. So let's see what really had happened this time here and now in Total Drama Island Simulator part 10. And let's go and see what was that reason here. So again, let's start. Looks like that we are now going to start with is the colored base team. So I think that I would have to say some of the players are coming strong from the colored base team that are very strong against the Screaming Gophers team. Like I think that Beth and Cody and Duncan and Evie and Harold and Ivy and Lindsay and Owen and then Tyler are all doing very awesome and went out to be a strong team that would do so very well. And again, I'm very pleased of how the colored base lasted longer than the Screaming Gophers by having 9 to 4 people to go. And then I would have to say is that the Screaming Gophers team are really not doing that great against the colored base. Is just not looking good for them. So let's jump into the challenge and see what the teams that have this time. For this challenge that the teams are going to do is this, and here we go, and says the extreme trust building that everyone is going to do, and this will be coming with is to be having invincibility to win and gets to send that person home with the rest anyways. So guys and girls, there are 3 main challenges centered around trust. Each challenge must be completed by 2 members from each team. Instead of campers choosing their partners, they are divided by Chris McLean. For the first challenge, 2 campers from each team compete in an extreme, free and rock climbing challenge, where they must decide who will climb the mountain and who will harness the climber and hold their slack. In the base and side of the mountain are rusty nails, slippery oil slicks, mild explosives, and a water gun filled with habanero pepper sauce. The first camper to reach the top wins the challenge for their team. For the second challenge, 2 campers from each team compete in an extreme cooking challenge, where they must decide who will cook and who will eat. The cooks must prepare fugu sashimi, a dish which can be lethally poisonous if it is not prepared properly, while the other 2 must taste their partner's dish. The camper that is poisoned the least wins the challenge for their team. The final challenge is broken down into 3 blind challenges. In the first blind challenge, 2 campers from each team compete in the blind William Tell, where they must decide who will stand and who will toss. The campers who stand will have an arrow placed on the top of their head, as their partner tries to knock the arrow off with an apple, while blindfolded. The first camper to knock the arrow off their partner's head wins the challenge for their team. In the second blind challenge, 2 campers from each team compete in the blind trapeze, where they must decide who will jump and who will swing. The jumpers must wait on a platform until their partner tells them to jump, at which point the swingers must catch their partner. The catcher who successfully catches their partner the fastest wins the challenge for their team. In the final blind challenge, 2 campers from each team compete in the blind toboggan race, where they must decide who will drive and who will navigate. The driver is blindfolded as they steer the toboggan, while the navigator shouts directions. Starting on top of a mountain riddled with mild explosives, the first pair to reach the base of the mountain wins the challenge for their team. The team that wins the most blind challenges wins the third challenge. The team that wins the most challenges wins invincibility. And so here's what happened from what was going on is that from the first challenge was that Bridget and DJ both had now completed for the Screaming Gophers, and then Beth and Harold both now completed for the colored base, and then looks like Beth and Harold wins against Bridget and DJ and scores a point for the colored base team. It is 1-2-0. And as we are on with the second challenge is that for the next one is that Ezekiel and Lishana had now completed for the Screaming Gophers, and then Evie and Izzy both had now completed for the Colored Base, and after that Izzy and Evie both won against Ezekiel and Lishana, and the score is now to 2-0 with a big win against the Screaming Gophers by now. Once this time, and again the winners goes is the Colored Base with a big win with 2 points to 0 points, and also they're safe and gets to stay here on the island for now. If they lose again, that would be for sure, as we will find out more soon. And yet the Screaming Gophers are about to send somebody home tonight, so let's go. Alright guys, let's get it started with the marshmallows here, and this is the campfire ceremony. I have 3 marshmallows. If I call your name, you are safe and can get your marshmallow. If you do not receive a marshmallow, you must immediately return to the dock of shame to catch the boat of losers and leave. That means you're out of the contest and you can't come back, ever. That means you're done. Looks like, as in for this, that I'm giving the first marshmallow goes to Lishana gets to have is the marshmallow. And the next person goes to Ezekiel that gets to stay here on the island along with Lishana. Now then we are down to is the final 2, that is Bridget and DJ. Let's explain why that one of them might be getting close to be sent home. And as in for Bridget is that, as in for her reasons to say why that she would get to stay here is, because, if Bridget does stay on the island is that one she would only get to be safe. If it would get her to side with Lishana to get which person of the dudes in her team to pick, that would be Ezekiel or DJ, since that would be one of them to do for her reason to stay. So looks like that Bridget gets the marshmallow, she is safe. And for now that, if DJ did stay on the island is that one, if he was safe on the island it would mean that could last long than Lishana and Ezekiel to have one of them going home, but yet again he did try to do so. Then for now DJ is out and gets to go home, and it is time for him to go to the dock of shame. As in for the votes that had happened tonight was that there were only about like 3 votes were all against DJ to send him packing home just like Trent, and that sure had to hurt that time on him, ouch. And also there was like 1 vote against Bridget, that was DJ who was voting her off the island. That looks like the voting is now done and done to see how many of them were added in the screen here. So without that being said is that we are down with just 12 people to go and remain left here in the island, and I got to say is that who about to be out on the next episode of Total Drama Island Simulator. And don't forget that the teams are being swapped, that the only ones that who is would be Bridget and Ezekiel gets to go join with the Colored Base team, and then Evie and Tyler gets to be swapped and goes to be joining Lishana for the Screaming Gophers team, and they're being picked and final. Until there will be no more teams left once Part 13 will be the call for no more teams of Screaming Gophers and Colored Base. That will not be, is not yet soon. Anyways, thank you guys for enjoying the show, and I'm past Duncan Gaming here, and we will see you guys next time of Total Drama Island Simulator for Part 11. See you guys later.